Would you please turn it off until we conclude the meeting? And will you please stand for the invocation to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance? Let us pray. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for another day that you've given us. Dear Lord, we just come to you now asking that you be with us as we go through the meeting. As always, dear Lord, we just ask that you guide our words, our thoughts, as everything that we may say may be pleasing to you and be in the best interests of those who live here in Meriwether County. We thank you for everyone present today, and we ask that you be with us all as we leave. Give everyone a safe trip back to their respective places. And we pray these things in your name. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first order of business will be to adopt the agenda. Are there any changes, additions? Okay, we have a second. Second. All in favor? Next, we have the minutes from the March 26th work session and the March 26th regular meeting. We've had opportunity to look over those. Are there any changes or comments that need to be made?
I move we accept the minutes as presented.
All right, we have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Next, we'll move along to municipal comments. I believe we have Mayor Glover.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning.
The only thing Green has to announce is our upcoming
Your what?
citywide Easter egg hunt on April the 20th. I think they told me 11 to 3. If that's wrong, then charge it to me. And we do want to thank those who have already become sponsors, and you know who you are, as well as volunteers. You know who you are. Thank you so much.
Where will it be?
Up behind the old elementary school on the football field.
Okay. All right. Are there any other municipalities represented?
The old village school.
Seeing none, we'll move on to the constitutional officers. And I don't see anyone here this morning. Okay, we'll move along to the department heads, and we'll start up here with Skip.
Nothing at this time, no.
All right, Gren.
Yeah. Before you, you have some examples of some letterheads that was asked to present to you. Basically, this pretty much Beverly has spearheaded this in an effort to kind of get all the departments under the BOC, kind of under the same labeling, branding, so to speak. You know, we gave you a couple examples there of how, you know, it would look. Of course, the BOC has their own. There were some questions about the seal, what have you. I mean, that can be changed out. Each department actually has, you know, their own kind of logo that would kind of go where that watermark is in the middle of the page, or maybe up in one of the corners, just to kind of give them some uniqueness for their department. But for the most part, we want everything to kind of look the same. Different, but the same. So, you know, I guess at this point, it's not really, unfortunately, it's not really that, it's not rocket science. You know, what questions, comments?
No, but if we do this, we probably need to add Allison as deputy clerk, because she has to sign something on this letter. Don't you think?
That's easy.
Looks good. It's very visible, easily read.
And one other comment too, if we do something like this where it has each individual department like Public Works, then I think what we need to have happen, instead of just having just anybody send out letters, it's okay if the department heads do it and sign it, but I do think we need to put something in place to where a copy goes to Theron or Beverly, so that they can place that letter in the file in case something ever comes up, and just in case it gets lost in one place and we can't reproduce it, and for legal reasons we would need to.
Absolutely. That should already be being done though. Yeah.
That will also go into the retention frame.
Yeah. That, you're right. And that should probably be already being done regardless on what it goes out on.
this something we just want to think about or look at, or something we need to talk about today?
If y'all are pleased with it, or if you'd like to see some more options, it's up to the board's discretion.
So every department will have, just like this, except a different title.
Yeah, like for example, if you have the watermark in the middle, the only reason why Public Works had a different one, because they never really had their own logo. So we just, instead of putting Board of Commissioners in here, it just says Meriwether County, Georgia, under there, which we've used as kind of a generic seal in the past for each department. But if you'll look at the watermark for the Board of Commissioners, it says, actually says Board of Commissioners in the watermark. The fire department, they have their logo, we have our logo and so forth. But basically, that would be on a watermark, real faint in the middle, and then, or maybe something up here like we did with Public Works. We did create them a little, something.
We'll give those there, that's it.
Okay.
So the other departments, you're saying that this would change or add for each department?
Yes.
But it would be the same thing, it just have their name on it, is that right?
No. That's, and this, I mean, this is why we're discussing it. What we have there, basically, we can either have that one and have maybe their little logo small above their name like that one is, or we could put a watermark in the middle of the page like that one is, real faint, whatever their department logo is.
Could their logo go right here?
Sure could.
And then
Because
just
the
be
watermark
consistent
could be
with
the
this?
same.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Be whatever
Yeah.
the county's is, let that be on all of it, and
Yeah.
just let their
Sure.
thing over there to the right be what's
So are you saying you
different.
want to change, where it says Board of Commissioners here?
I think Board of Commissioners needs to say Board of
Yeah,
Commissioners.
we keep ours like that,
Okay, and then everybody
else's looks
Yeah,
just like
County.
that. The only change would be each department would have its title
Yeah.
there and then a watermark at the very top right, just like that one, whatever represents that department. And that way everybody knows the letter doesn't come from us.
It's just much easier to read.
Well, I mean, it's time for us to
I'd say
update.
it looks more updated.
Yeah.
Do y'all want to sign on this today? Okay. We have a motion regarding the new letterhead.
Who did the motion?
I said, do we have
Oh,
one?
I'll-
Available?
So moved.
All right, second. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay,
Make it happen.
thank you. All right, Sean?
Come back to me at the end of the department head, if you will.
Okay.
Madam Vice Chair, could I put in that, also in that motion that,
Do you want to amend the motion?
I want to amend it, that we move forward with it and allow that to happen contingent upon Theron's review and okaying of it afterwards to make sure each one is correct.
All right, we have a second.
I'll be in this, y'all second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor? All right, thank you.
Sorry.
That's right, Tyrell?
I just have a quick update on the drop off that we have. Right now, our motorized crews are actually full. We have two motorized crews actually running. The drainage crew, we're hiring guys today, depending on his background, come back. Drug test came back well. We've actually started grading on some roads. I think we got like 19 to 20 roads already done, so I just want to get a quick update on the work.
Thank you. All right, Bill?
Fire station, end of this hill, and they're in, they're going to start paving on the DOT entrances there, and the final grading this ran, so should be wrapping up section very shortly. For the work of the line on River Cove Road, repairs today. They started on Green Wall
Yes.
there, and then the rain kind of got away, had to finish falling in the dirt there. Should be able to wrap that up very soon. And then that's it.
Patty?
I have nothing at this time. I'll do it later.
Kathy?
I'll speak. Just want to be sure everybody knows that we do have a position that we are advertising for a building inspector. It's on the website for the county. Department of Labor has got a notice. It should be coming out in the newspaper this week. So if anybody knows someone that's looking for a job, we're looking for some good qualified people to come in, and would love to have you send information to them so they can get in touch with Ms. Beverly and get everything sent in.
April the 27th. The tire program, which is part of that on that Saturday, will continue through the next week, and Public Works will accept tires any day, Monday through Friday, and the next Saturday, May 7th, I believe is the next Saturday. So you don't have to just get all your tires in 27th. Still looking for teams, volunteers. Need a cleanup. Okay.
Thank you. All right, we'll go back to Sean.
Just want to let y'all know we've been doing a lot of work over at the animal shelter. We built a bunch of new outside kennels, built the dogs in outside so they can run around and play on the nice days when it's sunny and warm out there. We're trying to upload some pictures. We managed to get one of them uploaded. These kennels right here, we've actually built about 6 of those out there in the yard. We built, we built 2 puppy kennels. That's Bruce. That's one of our dogs that had to have his eye removed. I don't know why that's on there or that. But we've built 2 puppy kennels at the front of the parking lot. We've actually had concrete donated to us, put concrete in the bottom. That way they can be clean so we don't spread diseases from one puppy to another. All the kennels are concreted around the edge where the dogs can't dig out or get out of them. We've had 2 dogs that's managed to climb the fence and get out since we built them. We thought they were escape proof. We found out they're not.
How tall was it?
They are 6 foot tall.
Wow.
6 foot tall. They've got 2 6s all the way around the bottom edge. That way they can't dig under that. They've also got concrete around that. They've got 2 4s across the top edge to make it good and secure where they can't push it over. All the posts are concreted in the ground where they won't rot away and fall out. And the chain link is very durably stapled to the wood to where it doesn't come loose and dogs get in and out there when they're not supposed to. The only other thing we've seen that we got to do is over one section of each kennel we need to build a little bit of a roof so that they have some shade during the summertime. They've got water buckets secured to their kennels like they're supposed to have. They have food out there when they're out there, and they really enjoy it. I was going to bring y'all some videos of some of the dogs out there running and playing in it because they've had a real good time in there since we've done it. So,
How much was the cost on that to build and run?
all together for everything we've done with the puppy kennels, the 6 kennels outside and dividing the big pen. We also took at the front of at the side of the office, we put dirt and new grass seed and fenced in the area there where we made it an actual bonding pen where people can sit and spend time with an animal before they adopt it. Altogether, we spent about $760 if I'm not mistaken on it.
Did we get assistance with that, or
We did not.
do you want it?
Yes, sir. Always.
Send it to me, and I'll get it for you.
Will do. All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone else? Okay, next would be a public hearing. I do not think we have a need for one today.
Not today.
And we have no unfinished business, which is unusual. All right, under new business, dissolve the comprehensive plan steering committee. I think that's just a formality.
Yes, ma'am. Chairman Commissioners, this committee was formed when you were developing the comprehensive plan. It was required. The committee did a phenomenal job, and we completed that. And so at this time, I think we just need to, dissolve that committee. We'll send a letter to everyone thanking them for their service on that. It was a very well run program, and we completed the comprehensive plan in time and completed in the house and saved substantial money. So, with the leadership of this group.
Okay. All right, hearing that, can we have a motion to dissolve the comprehensive plan steering committee?
So moved.
Have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
All right, next we have an appointment to the Recreation Advisory Board to fill an unexpired term. This would be District 2. Commissioner Ray, I think that's yours.
That's me. Chris resigned, so we're going to replace him with our lady. I think everyone got a copy of her bio. Catherine Jenkins, she lives around Luthersville. She likes to work in the recreation area, and also she's just earned her junior doctorate in law from Mercer University, and so she pursued a job in the legal field. So I would like to motion that we accept Catherine Jenkins.
All right, we have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
You take either one of
All right, next on our agenda is to discuss recreation.
I had actually requested that to be put on there. I had requested some information from countywide rec areas, and I haven't received all that. Plus, I'd like for it to be a complete board. I didn't know that Commissioner Hines wasn't going to be here. So I would just like to, since she's not here and since I don't have all the documents that I requested from other rec, if we can just move this to the next meeting on that agenda for the 19th.
All right, you making that form of a motion?
I am.
All right, we have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Discussion of proposed change for Meriwether County Business License Ordinance. Mr. Gay?
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chairman, Commissioners, as I think we've discussed one time before when we were looking at our business license ordinance, we don't really have any language in there that relates to should you need to revoke or pull a license. And there could be times when that needs to happen if they're not following the rules. And there's simply no procedure in there. I think you do have to, and Mr. Lee can speak to that better than myself, but I think you do have to give them a due process. And so what I'd like to just ask the board to make sure you guys are okay with us working toward adding some language in there that would allow for the revocation with due process of a business license if there were violations. I've talked to Kathy about it, and I've already pulled our license, got some thoughts on what we need to add, but we'd like to work with Mr. Lee and Kathy on completing that and bringing that back to the board.
By the next meeting, possible? Or is it?
I think we can bring it by next week.
I know it's something that we need.
We did something,
And we've had
yeah,
several situations
We just,
where we needed this and we didn't have it.
absolutely. We just put it out there, we'll have it by next week.
Okay.
I meant to have it by today, I just run out of daylight.
We abstain.
Do we need to vote on that or?
I think just ask us to proceed.
Okay.
You don't need to vote on it.
Okay.
Vote on what it's presented to
All
you.
right, you'll just, y'all will proceed then.
We'll get done, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, next we have a report from our finance director.
Kathy, the thing out in front of you, I'm not sure, but your 901 balance is 2.5 million, that's it. I wish it
Great.
sometimes my computer doesn't talk to me.
Oh, that's great.
254,000. So,
Okay.
with that in the general fund, we're still over 4 million, which is really good for this time of the year.
So is it 254,641 or 254,064?
It's 254,641.
Okay.
So we're over 4 million, good for this time of the year. We're pleased with that. And, a couple weeks ago, I got the final sign off from FEMA on our last payment, so we should be getting that pretty quick. So that, with that in the bank, we should be able to avoid the tan again this year. I also mentioned that the auditors will be here for work session at the next meeting, the evening meeting.
Okay, on the 27th.
And I did have a note that we needed to add that work session. I
Okay.
probably should have just mentioned that at the, when you were asking for changes to the agenda.
And on the EMA side, we hosted a storm spotter class last night. The wind was gracious enough to be hosted while Darren and I were in Louisville. So we had that last night. Had a pretty good turnout, almost 30 people showed up.
I saw a lot of people commenting about that, so I was hoping it'd be a good turnout.
The last half of it, what I saw was pretty interesting. They showed videos of storms, tornadoes that gone. That's pretty interesting. Also, Brent and I met with Dave Nadler, with the chief meteorologist for the P3C National Weather Service, to review our storm ready renewal application. Everything went well. I was pretty thrilled that they have different categories of things, and they scored that. You have to have at least like 4 out of 8, and most of the time we had 7 or 8. And should get that mail shortly thereafter. Unless you have any questions, that's all I have.
All right, any questions from you? All right, thank you. All right, next will be our report from our county administrator.
Yes, Madam Chairman, Commissioners, as Bill just said, we do need to have a work session starting at 4:30 before the next meeting. That will allow the auditors to do their presentation. That will cut down on the time you spend in the regular meeting. The Cove Road project, culvert project, the pipe is supposed to be delivered, I think, on Monday. Is that right? And then River Cove, I think, Bill, you and Terrell have already got started on that project. Bill Gregory and I have gone to all the cities except for one, and we presented information on T-Splosh. And it's been overwhelmingly positive everywhere we've been. And so we're going to be working with Mr. Lee and Patty and others on putting together the documentation that we need in intergovernmental agreements, and we'll get those back to those cities. But we only have one more city to go, and like I said, the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Mr. Buster, I didn't, that trail map, I was going to ask.
Gave it to Mr. Fields.
Okay.
Almost ago. Would you like to see that?
I think that it would be good if the board could see that trail map down at Lake Meriwether. Skip, I know, had done some work on that, Bill, and looks really nice. And we are very, very close on that. We already have a company that's going to be coming in and doing the striping for the ADA. They're going to paint the emblems and all on there as well. And so that project is very close to wrapping up and completing. Of course, our deadline was the end of this month, and we're going to definitely make that. There's still some things we want to do, but really proud of the work that's been accomplished, the volunteers that have helped to get that done, and gives you an idea. It'll be a little bit smaller than this, but each of these dots is actually a geographic point where you shot them with the GPS unit, right? So every one of those is that shot recorded. And we tried to make it a solid line. That was kind of difficult. But so what we decided to do is just mold it up more. We've got to maybe reduce the scale just a little bit to get it on the place in the little shed thing we're going to put it in. Skip, when he was looking at it, marking the 88 trail, come up with the ability to be able to do the blue and the handicap emblem. So I thought it looked really good. There's still some pieces that are missing, like we'll have distance markers along the trail that will show up there, other information on the map. But basically, that's a long way to go, and toward what we're trying to do. And that'll be displayed and laminated up at the trailhead. And so a lot of work's been done. If you haven't been down and walked the trail.
So you can walk the trail now?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
You can walk the trail. And the trail is marked. We've already marked it with little peach emblems.
Anybody who wants to come and pick up trash this Saturday, we'll let you walk that.
What's the length of it?
How long?
It's 1.5, it's close to
1.5 in.
You got a mile and a half to.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
good.
then back out.
Half that.
3 miles.
Yeah. And then you've got the 88 trail. It's over a mile of the west.
So you should walk it too.
Walk it too.
Wouldn't run up about 10 minutes. maybe.
There's a lot of people walking out there now.
Yeah.
That's great.
Every day.
So we want to get more advertisement out.
Yeah.
When we get everything ready to go, I think it'd be good to have a little just kind of grand opening
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever. And we'll show it off to
Ribbon cut.
everybody. So I wanted to, just to show you guys that, and that was good progress. And thank all our staff and Skip and Fran and everybody that helped on that. Tyrell's crews helped on it as well.
We have a grand opening, Sean. You need to have some dogs out there walking the trail for adoption.
Sure you will.
Not bad.
We'll have a little ticket. When you get a ticket, just put the dog in the car with them and say, hey, there you go.
Throw them in the windows and go bang.
That's right.
Ticket, their door prize for even coming out would be $1.
That's right.
Or cat.
Right. can. There's one area that, where it's pretty steep, we've not yet been able to notch out the bank. Bill was, been working on the design for that. But you can move up off of the trail into the woods and around, and you can see.
Actually, I think the best rescue,
Side by side's the key because we have to put something on a backboard, get them out on the side by side.
Brent, to further address your question, probably in the near future, what we need to look at is a boat that we can take across there for rescue. That would be by far the best way to get people in and out of there.
We've already determined we're going to build a little dock landing there for the...
Just mark sites where we can go into. Wouldn't necessarily have to be a specific landing. We can put, that in. But somewhere along that trail, once we know where they are, we can get in there close enough to pick them up. Something like a Carolina skiff or something of that nature.
Don't need to be a damn clock.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. We do.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Other things I've been working on, I've got a draft of it. I sent it down to Vic Dowis to look at it. I think he was out some last week. But I've got a recreation agreement that would allow individuals to come in and teach classes or use some of our facilities, and it will outline the rules and responsibilities. So I've got that in draft form. I'm waiting on feedback, and then I'll get with Mr. Lee on that matter. We've had meetings on, since y'all's last meeting, I met with our staff on timber ordinance, on the road closure policy. We do have 2 road abandonment requests that have come in. We're waiting on maps and the last things of that. And what we'll do is we'll put that on your next meeting. The way that will work is we'll bring it to you guys with the request. And we'll let you guys take a look at it, and you determine whether or not you want to have a public hearing on that, okay? So if you say, hey, yeah, we'll consider this, and we'll go back and we'll gather all the data that's out there. We'll get all the, the public safety input, we'll do all of that, bring it back as a package, and then we will, upon y'all sitting of a public hearing, we will advertise it, and we'll have all that packet back by the time you have your public hearing to determine whether or not it ceases to have a public use. So, we put that process on hold until we could get a little better handle on that, and we do have that now. I have gone over that with our staff. Scrap tire agreements, Ms. Jane mentioned that earlier. We've gone ahead and filled out the grant applications for that. They've changed their application process up a little bit, so now you can ask for 2 events. So I've already asked for spring and fall. And there's another program that's called roadside pickup. And I printed the documents off on that, but I've not had a chance to look at it. But that may be also be something that we could take advantage of.
What is roadside pickup? You talking about just tires?
Tires.
It may be just tires, but if it could be litter and other things,
Sure.
I'll apply for that. It's probably just tires, but I tell you what, you can ride around all day and you can pick up a truckload.
Help reimburse us for our cost on it.
That's right.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Because they're probably not just going to ride the road and do it. We'll have to put it in piles on the side of the road probably for them to pick it up at that point. Is that right?
What we would probably do at that point is we would pick it up, just take it back to Public Works. But I want to see how that program works. I just noticed it when I was looking at the program, and I didn't have time to really take a look at it. Mr. Dunaway's here with us today, and he, as always, is working with tourism at the Cotton Picking Fair, and he's just asking please to allow him to be able to use the bus to shuttle people down to the Red Oak Covered Bridge and back. And we've done this in the past, so I'll bring that really as just information purposes. I did notice last night on the news that up in Cobb County, they have a covered bridge. We're having real problems with people coming into that and running into it. Like 6 or 8 times they had knocked the metal.
But did you see the frame they're going to put on it? They're putting it right there at the bridge, taking away from the bridge completely.
Wow.
You know how
Put
we
it
backed
down.
ours up some? It is right there at the entrance where
So when they knock it down, and they had knocked it down yesterday, it rolls over and hits the bridge.
Maybe you need to send them a courtesy picture of ours.
You know what, I thought about that last night. I said, maybe I'll just give them an idea of what we've done here, because it works a lot better.
Tell Cobb County to hang with one that's on the bleeding edge.
Yeah, they were saying, we're working toward a solution on this. So we may send them one from Marion County. We got the site plan in for the Warm Springs Fire Station site, and we're going to start working on that. We got a hydrology report. Woodbury, I'm sorry, Woodbury. No, Warm Springs. I've been to 2 big cities this week. Woodbury. So we've got that in, and we'll start trying to move forward with that. That's really all I have at this point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we have reports from our county commissioners. Commissioner Brady.
Only thing I have is to keep the family of Bill Tomlin in your prayers. He passed away. He actually served many, many years on our Pathways Board. So Beverly, I'll be finding somebody for that, but if you'll just keep his family in your prayers.
What's the particulars on that, Brian? Visitation.
As of yesterday, it
don't.
had not been set. He just passed away yesterday afternoon. Have you seen any? I haven't seen any.
I'll look and see where I'm going.
Is that all?
That's it.
Commissioner Bryant?
I don't have anything at this time.
Okay. I just have a couple of things. This Saturday is the annual spring fling in Warm Springs from 10 a.m. to 5, just on Saturday only. Well, there'll be live music. There'll be lots. I think there's about 50 vendors signed up to be there. Of course, we would love to have you come down and eat with us, shop with us, visit the vendors that are there, and then you stick around for the entertainment and all too. So it's just like, I can't remember what year it is, but this has been going on for many years now. So we hope you'll come out and support that in Warm Springs. Seems like I had something. I guess that's it. Thank you. Commissioner Ford?
Yeah, I have some items here I wanted to cover. 2 Fridays ago, I was here with the broadband. Discussion was brought up in this very room. And I listened to Diverse Power, and the CEO came over and talked to us. And I think right during that same time period, the folks up at the Capitol did pass the law, or I believe it has, where they now can make a motion to move on this, allowing the EMCs to get involved in it. Is that right, Nate?
It did pass.
It did pass, okay. And with that, and listening to the technology that they have developed, and listening to I mean, it's unbelievable. They can put a 150-foot untethered tower, just no guys on it at all. And it was really promising to listen to what he had to say. And of course, Diverse is wanting to come over here more or less to pilot with us, more so than with Troop. Troop's not very, they're not very promising for
Don't say too much. He asked us to keep part of it under wraps.
Well, we are. I mean, the real part, right, we're going to keep under wraps. But anyway, I thought that was very promising to listen to some of that. Yeah, just don't put that in the paper. Now, I did mention Lake Meriwether, and of course, we're trying to get as much done down there as we can as we're closing in. And some of us are going to meet about 9 Saturday morning and do some trash pickup and things of that nature. There's a lot going on this Saturday, so I don't know if we're going to have much of a group to show up for that or not. But we also started discussing next projects. Where do we go after we complete the work for the grant? And one of the things that came up, Larry, you may want to listen to this, we talked about doing some disabled vet fishing stations out there. Now, we would need to get the post involved, probably also the VFW post involved, and see what we can do with that. That seemed to me
like a little bitty platform.
It would be a platform, probably with a rail where they can pull their chairs up to it, that sort of thing. We'll look at something of that nature.
Well, all 3 of our veterans groups are trying to get some projects together that our post of Manchester, and the
Post 88,
could do. And this might be one that would fit everybody's, I think we can do that.
That's precisely when I'm throwing it to you.
Yeah,
If we can get something moving on that, I think that would be a great thing.
Yeah, if we can get some sort of little sketch design of what we need to do.
Right. I'm sure the ADA would be glad to, somebody out there would be glad to supply some
Set
stuff.
places where the road is close enough where all that works.
That's right. And maybe even enough that we could have a station where they could load into canoes, kayaks, that sort of thing. Now, that would be a little more involved from what I've seen, but it'd be interesting to see. And then the other thing I was going to mention, I guess coming back to you, Mr. Thurin, this came up this week, and Sean and I discussed this a little bit. We may need to go and blow the dust off our nuisance animal ordinance and kind of bring that thing up a little bit.
expand it just a little bit.
It's kind of like the old soap opera. It's become kind of a mini splendor thing there with nuisance animals, so we need to probably see if we can pin that down. That's about all I have.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because there's something that I want to see happen too, and I don't know what the process would have to be, but for dogs that are deemed as dangerous breeds, I'd like to see something in the county where they have to probably go through Kathy's office to apply for a license so that we know to be in
It's not
regulation.
uncommon in other areas.
So I don't know what we have to do, Mr. Attorney.
Are you talking about just by virtue of the breed itself and
Yeah.
register, or are you talking about a dog that's being classified, y'all have a dangerous dog
We
ordinance?
do, but a breed that is classified as a dangerous breed, such as a pit or a
Right.
cheetah or something like that, where they have to have a license to have that particular type of dog.
And you know of other jurisdictions that do that?
Yeah, there are some.
Yeah.
I'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've had that, somebody asked me about that, some other
Yeah.
No,
dog that I
shelters.
represent, but I can't remember.
I just see
It was
people,
years ago, and I know we didn't do anything on it, I can't remember why.
I just see people walking all over the cities in the county in Manchester too with pits on a choker chain that's
Right.
pulling an 80-pound guy or 60-pound woman, because they're not very big, the dogs outweigh them. And the dog's a little somewhat emaciated, so you know they're not being taken care of. And I just want it to be something that we put in place.
You can think, you hear of a
I'll find
jurisdiction, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it.
I think there was.
Yeah, I think the law's been passed on.
So,
That's all I have.
all right. Mr. Lee, do you have anything?
Maybe an update or two in executive session, but nothing.
Okay, so we do have a need for an executive session.
We do. We have legal, personnel, and real estate.
Litigation, you mean?
Yes.
Litigation.
Okay. All right, if that's it, before we go to the executive session, we're at the time for public comment. Is anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment? If you would, come to the podium, give us your name and address, and we'll give you 3 minutes to speak.
Don't everybody rush it one time.
I'm not gonna get my name, but did we break up that?
Not yet.
You don't sit down. I'm back on 47.
It would have been a lot less if Brent hadn't stood up, but it's all right.
Not me, sir. Not this time.
All right, as you heard, we are going to have a need for an executive session, but our future meeting is April 23rd. And let's make mention that there will be a work session that day at 4:30, and then the regular meeting at 6 p.m. If there's nothing else, you have a motion to go into executive session
So
for personnel, litigation, and real estate.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, we'll get executive session.